What if I told you that the last digit of your birth year holds a mirror to your deepest patterns and tendencies? Edgar Cayce, known as the sleeping prophet, once said that nothing in our lives happens by accident. According to Edgar Cayce's teachings, every detail of our existence, from the moment we take our first breath to the family we're born into, carries significance for our spiritual journey. But here's what most people don't realize. The year you were born wasn't random. And by the end of this presentation, you'll understand why that simple digit at the end of your birth year might explain patterns you've carried your entire life. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover could change how you see yourself forever. Edgar Cayce discovered through his life readings that souls carry forward certain tendencies and inclinations from their spiritual past. While he didn't specifically outline birth year numerology, his work suggests that numerical patterns can serve as tools for self-reflection and understanding. Before we dive deeper, I need you to do something. Think about the last digit of your birth year right now. Hold it in your mind. Because in just a few minutes, when I reveal what this number suggests about your inner nature, something inside you might click into place, like a puzzle piece you didn't know was missing. And if you're still skeptical, just wait until you hear what digit 7 reveals. According to Edgar Cayce's philosophy, we don't come into this world as blank slates. We arrive with tendencies, gifts, and challenges that shape our journey. These numerical patterns offer one lens through which we might understand these deeper currents. Here's something that might surprise you. Edgar Cayce said that understanding our patterns isn't about predicting the future, it's about recognizing the present. And the digit that's been with you since birth might be the key to understanding why you react the way you do, why certain situations feel familiar, and why some paths feel more natural than others. But before I reveal what each number means, let me share something that will make this even more powerful. Edgar Cayce discovered that souls don't experience life randomly. According to his teachings, we come into each lifetime with what he called a soul pattern, a blueprint of lessons, gifts, and growth opportunities. And here's where it gets interesting. While Cayce didn't focus on birth year numerology specifically, his approach to understanding soul patterns aligns perfectly with using numbers as reflective tools. He believed that everything in our physical experience mirrors something deeper. So when I tell you about your birth year digit, I'm not making predictions, I'm offering you a mirror. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you were meant for something different? Like there's a part of you that doesn't quite fit the mold everyone expects? According to Edgar Cayce, that feeling isn't imagination, it's recognition. And your birth year digit might explain exactly what you've been recognizing all along. Number 0, the soul starting fresh. If your birth year ends in 0, this might explain why you've always felt different. Edgar Cayce said that some souls come into life carrying less baggage from previous experiences. According to his teachings, these souls have what he called greater freedom of choice, because they're not as bound by past patterns. But here's what this really means for you. You might be someone who's naturally drawn to simplicity. Complexity overwhelms you not because you can't handle it, but because your soul craves clarity. Edgar Cayce discovered that souls with this pattern often feel called to clear the slate in their families or communities. And if you've ever felt like you're starting over more than most people, now you know why. Here's something that might resonate. Do you find yourself naturally drawn to meditation, quiet spaces, or spiritual practices? According to Edgar Cayce's understanding, souls with this pattern are often natural mystics, not because they're trying to escape the world, but because they're trying to find the truth beneath it. But there's something else about the 0 pattern that most people never realize. You might struggle with feeling empty or directionless at times. Edgar Cayce said this isn't a weakness, it's actually your greatest strength. The emptiness you feel isn't lack, it's potential. You're not missing something, you're making space for something new to emerge. Number 1, the natural pioneer. If your birth year ends in 1, you've probably felt the weight of leadership your entire life. Edgar Cayce discovered that certain souls come into life with what he called initiating energy. According to his readings, these souls aren't comfortable following, they're compelled to lead, create, and begin new things. But here's what makes this pattern both a gift and a challenge. You probably started showing independence very early. Maybe you were the child who questioned authority, who wanted to do things your way, who felt frustrated when others couldn't keep up with your vision. Edgar Cayce said this isn't rebellion, it's recognition of your soul's purpose. And here's something that might shock you. According to Edgar Cayce, souls with this pattern often experience more resistance from others. Why? Because when you're meant to pioneer new paths, you naturally challenge existing ones. This creates friction, but it's necessary friction. Have you noticed this pattern in your life? Relationships that start strong but then hit walls when you want to grow or change. Career paths that feel restrictive just when you're hitting your stride. Edgar Cayce discovered that pioneering souls often face what he called breaking points, moments when they must choose between comfort and authenticity. But here's the part that changes everything. Edgar Cayce said that once pioneering souls accept their nature instead of fighting it, they become unstoppable. Not because they force their way, but because they align with their natural flow. Number 2, the natural harmonizer. If your birth year ends in 2, you've probably spent your life feeling everyone else's emotions. According to Edgar Cayce, some souls come into life with heightened sensitivity to others' energy fields. Edgar Cayce discovered that these souls often serve as emotional bridges in their families and communities. But here's what this sensitivity really means. You didn't choose to be sensitive, you were designed to be. Edgar Cayce said that souls with this pattern have a natural ability to sense what others need emotionally, often before those people recognize it themselves. And if you've ever felt exhausted after being around certain people, now you understand why. Here's something that might explain your entire life. Do you find it almost impossible to ignore someone who's struggling? Do you automatically take on the role of mediator in conflicts? According to Edgar Cayce, this isn't people-pleasing, it's your soul recognizing its purpose. But there's a shadow side to this pattern that Edgar Cayce warned about. Edgar Cayce discovered that harmonizing souls often lose themselves in others' needs. They become so good at sensing what others want that they forget to sense what they themselves need. This creates a pattern of giving without receiving that can lead to deep exhaustion. Now, the key insight Edgar Cayce offered is that true harmony isn't achieved by sacrificing yourself. It's achieved by including yourself in the harmony you create. Number 3, the natural communicator. If your birth year ends in 3, you've probably been told you're too much at some point. Edgar Cayce said that certain souls come into life with expanded expressive abilities. According to his teachings, these souls have what he called creative fire, a natural need to share, express, and connect through communication. But here's what people don't understand about this pattern. When you express yourself, you're not seeking attention, you're seeking connection. Edgar Cayce discovered that souls with this pattern have a deeper need to be understood than most people realize. And if you've ever felt misunderstood despite your best efforts to explain yourself, this might be why. Here's something that might resonate deeply. Do you find that you process emotions by talking about them? Do you discover what you really think by hearing yourself speak? According to Edgar Cayce, this isn't a weakness, it's how your soul naturally processes experience. But there's something about the 3 pattern that can become self-destructive. Edgar Cayce warned that expressive souls sometimes silence themselves when they encounter judgment or criticism. They start believing they really are too much, and they begin to shut down their natural gifts. Your expression is medicine, not just for you, but for others who need to see that it's safe to be authentic. Number 4, the natural builder. If your birth year ends in 4, you've probably been the reliable one since childhood. According to Edgar Cayce, some souls come into life with what he called stabilizing energy. Edgar Cayce discovered that these souls naturally create order and structure wherever they go. But here's what this pattern really means. You don't create structure because you're controlling, you create it because chaos is genuinely painful for you to experience. Edgar Cayce said that building souls have a natural sensitivity to disharmony that compels them to organize and stabilize. And if you've ever felt like you're carrying more responsibility than others, now you know why. Here's something that might explain your relationships. Do people naturally turn to you when things fall apart? Do you find yourself automatically stepping up in crisis situations? According to Edgar Cayce, this isn't coincidence. People can sense your stabilizing energy, even if they can't name it. But there's a burden that comes with the 4 pattern. Edgar Cayce discovered that building souls often feel like they can't rest because someone always needs them. They become so identified with being useful that they forget they have value beyond what they do for others. True builders don't just create external structures, they build inner foundations of self-worth that don't depend on being needed. Number 5, the natural explorer. If your birth year ends in 5, you've probably felt trapped by normal life. Edgar Cayce said that certain souls come into life with what he called expansion energy. According to his teachings, these souls have a natural need for freedom, variety, and new experiences that goes beyond mere preference. It's essential for their spiritual well-being. But here's what makes this pattern challenging in modern life. Society often interprets your need for change as instability or immaturity. Edgar Cayce discovered that exploring souls often face judgment for their natural rhythms, which can lead them to try to force themselves into restrictive patterns. And if you've ever felt guilty for getting bored with things others find satisfying, this might explain why. Here's something that might change your perspective. Do you learn faster than most people? Do you quickly grasp new concepts and then need to move on to the next challenge? According to Edgar Cayce, this isn't attention deficit. It's intellectual and spiritual efficiency. But there's a deeper purpose to the 5 pattern that most people miss. Edgar Cayce discovered that exploring souls aren't meant to settle in the conventional sense. They're meant to gather wisdom from many experiences and then synthesize it into something new. True freedom isn't running from commitment, it's finding commitments that expand rather than contract you. Number 6, the natural nurturer. If your birth year ends in 6, you've probably felt responsible for others' happiness. According to Edgar Cayce, some souls come into life with enlarged capacity for caring. Edgar Cayce discovered that these souls have what he called healing hearts, a natural ability to sense and respond to others' needs. But here's the shadow side of this beautiful gift. You might have learned early that love feels conditional on your usefulness. Edgar Cayce said that nurturing souls often develop the belief that they must earn love by taking care of everyone else. And if you've ever felt taken for granted despite all you give, now you understand why. Here's something that might explain your patterns. Do you attract people who need fixing? Do you find yourself in relationships where you give more than you receive? According to Edgar Cayce, this isn't bad luck, it's your nurturing energy drawing in those who need healing. But there's something about the 6 pattern that Edgar Cayce considered crucial to understand. Edgar Cayce discovered that nurturing souls must learn to include themselves in their circle of care. Otherwise, they burn out and become resentful, which blocks their natural healing abilities. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't heal what you won't acknowledge in yourself. Number 7, the natural seeker. If your birth year ends in 7, you've probably felt like an outsider looking in. Edgar Cayce said that certain souls come into life with what he called seeking consciousness. According to his teachings, these souls have a natural drive to understand life's deeper meanings that goes far beyond intellectual curiosity. But here's what makes the 7 pattern both a gift and a burden. You see through surface appearances in ways that can be uncomfortable for both you and others. Edgar Cayce discovered that seeking souls often feel isolated because they can't pretend that shallow interactions are satisfying. And if you've ever felt like you think too much or analyze everything, this might explain why. Here's something that might resonate deeply. Do you prefer books to parties? Do you find small talk almost painful? Do you crave conversations about meaning, purpose, and truth? According to Edgar Cayce, this isn't antisocial behavior, it's your soul seeking its natural environment. But there's something about the 7 pattern that can become problematic. Edgar Cayce warned that seeking souls sometimes become so focused on finding answers that they forget to live. They can get trapped in endless analysis instead of trusting their inner knowing. The answers you seek aren't in your head, they're in your direct experience of life lived authentically. Number 8, the natural achiever. If your birth year ends in 8, you've probably felt driven to succeed since childhood. According to Edgar Cayce, some souls come into life with what he called manifestation energy. Edgar Cayce discovered that these souls have natural abilities to turn ideas into reality and visions into achievements. But here's what people don't understand about the 8 pattern. Your drive to achieve isn't about ego or materialism, it's about a soul-deep need to create something meaningful in the physical world. Edgar Cayce said that manifesting souls feel incomplete when they're not building or creating. And if you've ever felt like nothing you accomplish is ever enough, now you might understand why. Here's something that might explain your life patterns. Do you naturally take on leadership roles? Do you see possibilities and solutions that others miss? According to Edgar Cayce, this isn't just personality, it's your soul recognizing its purpose. But there's a shadow side to the 8 pattern that Edgar Cayce considered important. Edgar Cayce discovered that manifesting souls sometimes become so focused on external achievement that they lose connection with their inner guidance. Success becomes empty when it's not aligned with soul purpose. True achievement isn't about impressing others, it's about expressing your soul's highest potential in physical form. Number 9, the natural wise one. If your birth year ends in 9, you've probably felt older than your years. Edgar Cayce said that certain souls come into life with what he called completion energy. According to his teachings, these souls carry a natural wisdom and compassion that suggests deep experience with life's lessons. But here's what makes the 9 pattern both beautiful and challenging. You naturally see the bigger picture, which can make everyday concerns feel trivial or meaningless. Edgar Cayce discovered that completing souls often struggle with feeling disconnected from ordinary life. And if you've ever felt like you understand too much about human suffering, this might explain why. Here's something that might resonate deeply. Do people naturally confide in you? Do you find yourself in the role of counselor or advisor, even when you didn't seek it? According to Edgar Cayce, this isn't coincidence, people can sense your wisdom and experience, even if they can't name it. But there's something about the 9 pattern that can become overwhelming. Edgar Cayce warned that wise souls sometimes take on too much emotional responsibility for others. They feel compelled to fix or heal everyone they encounter, which can lead to exhaustion and isolation. Your role isn't to save everyone, it's to model what wholeness looks like and inspire others to find their own healing. Now that you've discovered your pattern, here's what Edgar Cayce would want you to understand about the profound journey of self-discovery that lies before you. These numerical patterns you've encountered aren't cosmic handcuffs binding you to some predetermined fate. They aren't destinies carved in stone, dictating every choice you'll make or every path you'll walk. Edgar Cayce spent decades emphasizing one of humanity's most precious gifts, our free will and the infinite power we possess to choose our response to life's circumstances, challenges, and opportunities. But here's the key insight that transforms everything you thought you knew about patterns and personality. When you truly understand your natural patterns, those deep currents that flow through your being, you can finally work with them instead of spending your entire life swimming against the tide. Edgar Cayce discovered through thousands of readings that souls suffer most profoundly when they exhaust themselves trying to be someone they're fundamentally not meant to be. It's like a river trying to flow uphill, or a bird attempting to swim in the depths of the ocean. Think about the people in your life who seem to radiate an effortless authenticity. They're not perfect, but there's something magnetic about their presence. They've learned to honor their natural patterns while still growing, evolving, and making conscious choices. They've discovered the sweet spot between acceptance and transformation. And if something you heard today resonated deeply in your chest, creating that unmistakable feeling of recognition, that's not coincidence, that's your soul saying, yes, this feels true. According to Edgar Cayce's profound understanding of human nature, this resonance occurs when information aligns with truths we already carry within us. We're not learning something entirely foreign, we're remembering something we've always known but perhaps never had words for. It's the difference between being told what color your eyes are and looking in a mirror to see for yourself. This recognition can be startling, even overwhelming. You might find yourself thinking, how did someone I've never met describe patterns I thought were completely unique to me? But Cayce understood that beneath the surface differences that seem to separate us, there are universal currents of human experience that connect us all. The goal isn't to use this information to construct new limitations or to put yourself, or others, into neat little boxes with permanent labels. Cayce was adamant about this point. He saw too many people become prisoners of their own self-understanding, using spiritual insights as excuses for staying stuck or avoiding growth. I'm just not a people person, someone might say, using their pattern as a shield against developing social skills. Or, I'm too sensitive for this world, avoiding the work of building healthy boundaries. The real goal is to use numerical patterns and other tools of self-discovery as instruments for greater self-acceptance and understanding. They're meant to be bridges to compassion, not walls that separate us from our potential or from each other. Remember what Edgar Cayce always taught with unwavering conviction. You are not your patterns, you are the consciousness that can observe them, understand them, and choose how to express them in the world. You are the awareness that can step back and see your tendencies without being enslaved by them. You are the creative force that can take your natural inclinations and sculpt them into something beautiful and purposeful. This is perhaps the most liberating truth in all of Cayce's teachings. Your birth year digit, your astrological sign, your personality type, your family patterns, none of these things define the totality of who you are. They're aspects of your human experience, but you are the space in which all these aspects arise and dance together. The question isn't whether this information is true in some objective, scientific sense that can be measured and proven in a laboratory. The question is far more practical and personally relevant. Does it help you understand yourself better? Does it offer insight into patterns you've been living unconsciously, perhaps for decades? Does it provide a framework for greater self-compassion when you find yourself struggling with the same challenges repeatedly? Does it help you recognize why certain situations drain your energy while others fill you with vitality? Can it explain why some people feel like kindred spirits from the moment you meet them, while others remain forever foreign to your way of being? Does it offer clues about the work you're meant to do in this world, the gifts you're here to share? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, then this information is serving its highest purpose. Edgar Cayce said that all spiritual tools, whether they involve numbers, dreams, meditation, prayer, tarot cards, or ancient wisdom traditions, are valuable only insofar as they help us become more loving, more aware, and more authentically ourselves. They're not ends in themselves, they're means to the greater end of human flourishing and spiritual growth. A hammer is useful when you need to drive a nail, but it becomes problematic when you start seeing every problem as requiring that particular solution. Similarly, numerical patterns are incredibly useful when they illuminate something previously hidden about yourself or others, but they become limiting when they're the only lens through which you view human complexity. And that, ultimately, is what your birth year digit offers you. Not a box to confine yourself within, with rigid walls and predetermined dimensions, but a mirror to see yourself more clearly. It reflects back certain qualities, tendencies, and possibilities that have always been part of your nature but may have been obscured by layers of conditioning, expectations, and the noise of everyday life. Use it wisely. Use it with love. And remember this above all else. You came into this life carrying gifts that only you can offer to the world. You arrived with challenges that are perfectly designed to help you grow in exactly the ways your soul needs to develop. You possess a unique perspective that has never existed before and will never exist again in quite the same way. Your birth year digit is just one small clue to the magnificent mystery of who you really are. It's a single thread in the vast tapestry of your being. The rest, the beautiful, complex, ever-unfolding rest, is up to you to discover, create, and become. Thank you so much for staying with me through this exploration. If you found value in today's discussion, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this video with someone who might benefit from it. And if you'd like to go a step further in supporting this work, you can now leave a super thanks below. it's a small way to say thank you, and it truly helps keep this channel going.